This wasn't a myth. It wasn't a legend. It was real, and it happened in a single day. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon on August 24th, 79 AD, Pompeii was alive. By dawn the next morning, it no longer existed. Today, we bring that day back to life, hour by hour, and reveal what really happened to the city that time tried to erase. Pompeii, a Roman jewel city of 12,000 residents. A place of luxury, trade, wine, theaters, and festivals. Life was vibrant, a bustling hub on the Bay of Naples. Nobody imagined that beneath their feet, a sleeping giant stirred. In the sprawling market, vendors shouted their prices over the din of the crowd. Children darted through the streets, their laughter echoing off the stone walls. Bakers pulled fresh hot bread from roaring ovens, its scent filling the morning air. In the magnificent Villa of the Mysteries, a wealthy family began preparations for a lavish feast, unaware it would never be served. And in the training yards, gladiators sparred, their bodies gleaming with sweat, practicing for games that would never be held. Life was normal, ordinary, and that is what makes what came next so impossible to forget. The first warnings were ignored. Small tremors shook cups and lamps across the city. But earthquakes were common here, a familiar part of life in the region. Nobody saw them as a serious threat. In a quiet workshop, a potter paused as his shells rattled, the clay creations trembling. He glanced around, shrugged, and returned to his work. The people of Pompeii had no idea they lived on a volcano. The word volcano didn't even exist in Latin. The mountain they called Vesuvius was just a scenic backdrop to their daily lives, covered in lush vineyards and trees. They believed it was just a mountain, nothing more. August 24th began like any other day. The sky was a brilliant, cloudless blue. A warm, gentle breeze swept in from the sea. It was a perfect summer morning, peaceful and serene. People went about their business, their routines, their lives. And then, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the mountain exploded. With a blinding flash and a thunderous roar that shook the earth to its core, the top of Mount Vesuvius burst open. A colossal column of superheated ash, gas, and rock shot 20 miles into the stratosphere, punching a hole through the sky. It blotted out the sun, turning day into an eerie twilight. Then, the fallout began. Pumice stones, some as large as a man's fist, began to rain down from the darkened sky. People looked up, their faces a mixture of confusion and terror. The initial shock quickly turned to panic. The stones crashed through tile roofs, shattering them like glass. People streamed into the streets, shielding their heads with their hands, with pillows, with whatever they could find, desperately seeking shelter from the deadly hail. For hours, the pumice rained down relentlessly. The brilliant city was plunged into an unnatural darkness, lit only by flashes of lightning from the eruption cloud. The once bustling streets began to fill with ash and stone, rising from ankles to knees. Buildings, unable to bear the immense weight accumulating on their roofs, began to groan and then collapse with deafening crashes, burying anyone trapped inside. Families huddled together in the strongest parts of their homes, hiding under tables, in cellars, anywhere they felt safe. Inside one home, a mother shielded her children as the house shook violently around them, the world outside becoming a nightmare of noise and destruction. As the situation grew more desperate, the city's inhabitants faced an impossible choice: escape or wait. A great crowd surged towards the harbor, believing the sea offered their only path to safety. They rushed toward the docks, a desperate tide of humanity. But a strange and terrifying sight met them there. The waves were withdrawing. The water was mysteriously pulling away from the shore, grounding boats and revealing the seabed, a phenomenon we now know as a tsunami precursor. For those who stayed behind, their hope lay not in escape, but in faith. Many gathered in the temples, huddling together, chanting prayers to the gods, hoping for a divine intervention that would spare them from the mountain's fury. As midnight approached, the eruption entered its most lethal phase. The gigantic Plinian column, which had towered over the city for hours, grew too heavy to support its own weight and collapsed inward upon itself. The mountain unleashed something far deadlier than falling stone: pyroclastic surges, a superheated toxic hurricane of burning ash, gas, and rock, moving at nearly 300 miles per hour and reaching temperatures over 500 degrees Fahrenheit, came roaring down the slopes of Vesuvius. It was an unstoppable wall of death. The first surge slammed into the city, and Pompeii was overtaken. Buildings were not just damaged, they were ripped apart, incinerated in an instant. The heat was so intense that for those in its path, death was instantaneous. There was no time to scream, no time to run. The city of Pompeii, with its thousands of inhabitants, its art, and its history, disappeared in a matter of minutes, erased from the landscape. Then, absolute silence. Ash and pumice continued to fall softly, blanketing the ruins. Smoke rose from what was once a thriving city. The city that woke under a bright sun was now buried under 12 feet of ash and stone, its final moments preserved forever. For nearly 1,700 years, Pompeii slept, its name and story fading into legend. When the lost city was finally rediscovered by accident in 1748, the world saw something no other place had ever left behind: an entire civilization frozen in its final breath. Archaeologists began the careful work of excavation, uncovering stunning frescoes, intricate mosaics, and everyday objects left exactly where they were dropped. Most hauntingly, they found the voids left in the hardened ash by the bodies of the victims. By pouring plaster into these cavities, they created casts of the people of Pompeii in their final moments, a ghostly population forever preserved at the instant of their death. Pompeii teaches us that even the mightiest cities can fall in an instant, but it also shows us that even in the greatest of tragedies, history survives, waiting to be found. It's a powerful, humbling reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of the past. If stories like this move you, stay with us for more journeys into the world's most powerful historical events. Thank you for watching.